This new Ranger makes the new Tacoma look, well, kind of silly. I'll include a link to the Ford here in Ogden's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this Ranger. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get right into it. Powering this is a turbo 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed. Ford recently improved this when it comes to fuel economy. It now gets 19 around town, 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 270 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. We're closing in on 500,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help me out with that. Just like other Ford pickup trucks, you have raised sections there on either side of the hood. C-shaped headlights, which some people like it on the Ranger, some people don't think it's aggressive enough, and I kind of agree with both takes. I like it, but then it's also not aggressive. Anyways, we've got fog lights down below and the metallic gray on the front end, tow hooks too. Altogether, I think the new Ranger is good looking, but yeah, some of the other mid-size pickup trucks are definitely better looking. 255 by 70 by 17 is the tire and wheel setup. You actually have all-terrain tires with this package. You notice the unpainted fender flares make it look a little bit more rugged. XLT badge here on the side, and you can see the mirror caps and the door handles are unpainted. Independent suspension up front, but solid axle here in the back, and then leaf springs in the back, coil sprung up front. Now, when it comes to the configuration, this is the crew cab, the bigger cab. I think it's called the crew cab. Sorry if I'm wrong on that. Anyways, it's the bigger cab, and you've got the shorter bed. When it comes to key fob features, we've got our lock and unlock function, remote start. You've got the flip out key there, and then we have the Ford logo on the back. Now, before we pop into the bed, you guys can see we've got the bedside steps here. And then taking a look at the bed itself, the tailgate is dampened. There's a ruler here on the back of the tailgate. We also have an outlet in the bed. No bed liner with this truck, but there are tie down points rather. And then lifting up the tailgate, it is very light. See receiver hitch there on the back. We've got parking sensors, and then you can see kind of a metallic gray bumper. Now, max towing capacity with the 2.3 if properly equipped is about 7,500 pounds. This week's giveaway makes my Jeep look lame because it is a supercharged Rubicon 392 that is fully decked out, producing 650 horsepower. Now, not only can you win this Rubicon 392, but part of the giveaway is also $26,000 in cash to help pay for the taxes. And not only that, your donations go towards helping children's and veterans charities. So use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. Any donation, $25 or more, will give you 4x bonus entries. Let's now check out the interior. You've got soft touch and stitching there on the top of the door panel. We've got a bit of storage below. You can see here with the cloth trim down the center of the seats. Again, this is the XLT version. Man, I was just in the back of a Maverick, and this doesn't really feel any bigger than the Maverick. It actually feels pretty similar, surprisingly. Anyways, we got some storage there. You can see USB ports, and we've got an outlet as well. And then the window here in the back is manual for the opening operation. Let's now pop up front. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then below we've got our power folding mirror function. You can see all the window controls, more of that soft touch on the door panel. Payload on this truck is 1,572 pounds. Again, cloth trim here on the seats. They are manual with the adjustments. Light controls to the left of the steering wheel. Now, key in the ignition, and yeah, it's old school like that. Saves you money, I guess. Now, when it comes to the steering wheel, it's actually got nice soft touch trim all around. Practical controls in the front face, including for the center screen. Right there, you've got your cruise control with your voice command and volume controls on the other side, and just traditional stocks on the back for turn signal windshield wiper setup. Digital cluster here on the center. I like how the fuel gauge and all that's always visible. But yeah, being digital means that you can change what is displayed. It's a bit of customization with it, and then it will display the drive modes. It doesn't have like a crazy animation, just kind of has a little depiction. Backup camera in reverse. There is that zoom function onto the receiver hitch. And this is actually the off-road pages here. It lets you know like tire pressure, so you access your diff lock, and then, sorry, I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. Diff lock and then your off-road cruise control. Climate control is accessible at the bottom at all times. There's still physical buttons for it, but they also make it at the bottom of the screen too, because it's kind of the push that Ford's making is to convince people to use the screen for everything, but we'll see if people actually accept that. This infotainment system responds quickly. That's one thing I'll give Ford credit for, is their infotainment system UI is pretty good. Not a fan of the vertical tablet though. Surprisingly, this has a phone charging pad and USB ports. USB ports not surprising, those are in every single new vehicle, but the phone charging pad's nice. Shifter for the 10-speed, it's got plus and minus, you can shift the gears yourself. Cup holders, parking brake, we've got the drive mode select. We do have a part-time four-wheel drive system, no four-wheel drive auto. We do have a 2-speed transfer case. And then you've got shortcut buttons for like your stability, auto stop start for the off-road stuff. Center console, it's got nice soft touch and stitching in the top. And at the very top we got sunglass holders, and we actually pop down below. No top glove box in this version of the Ranger, but we do have storage above the regular glove box. Quite a bit less than the Tacoma, $42,970. Let's see how this Ranger 2.3 performs. Ranger Danger. Gotta love the update with the 2.3. I mean, it really does make, like, we'll talk about this more at the end, but I think this updated 2.3 and then Ford's pricing the Ranger really makes Toyota look kind of stupid. But also, I'm wondering if Ford's gonna get greedy and just be like, oh, we had to increase the prices by like $4,000. It's not because Toyota's charging, you know, $4,000. Well, actually, they're charging more than that. Because if you get a basic, this competes with like a Tier D off-road base. You're looking at 40, it's like $6,000 more. Yeah, we had to increase the price of our truck by $6,000. It's not because Toyota's charging that much. It's just because of tariffs and economics and this and that, right? They'll come up with something. We'll see. Hopefully they don't, though, because if they don't, then, like, I mean, they got something special here. This is the most trustworthy turbo 4-cylinder in the pickup truck market. It's not the most powerful, right? Toyota has more torque and more horsepower by a small margin. Chevy's got quite a bit more horsepower and torque by a much larger margin. I mean, Chevy's 4-cylinder's pumping out, man, that person's zooming. Chevy's 4-cylinder's pumping out 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. So it's a pretty big difference. That's just my tripod, by the way. The truck doesn't make sounds like that, I promise. This thing zooms. And you get a little turbo blow off. It's like, whoosh. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, ride quality on this is really good too. I like mid-size pickup trucks. The only reason why I've never bought one personally is, you know, earlier on, full-size kind of just did better for viewership because there's more people who buy full-size. And then as soon as, you know, I could make sense of a mid-size because the market on it, I feel like there's more people buying mid-size today than there was in the past because of affordability and all of that. It now just doesn't work for my lifestyle because, you know, the back seats, you can fit car seats back there, but it's really tough. It's kind of more of like a, once your kid is old enough to be in a booster seat, then mid-size pickup trucks are quite kid-friendly, but then as soon as they, you know, get older than that, then it's like no longer kid-friendly again. And now that the traffic's kind of moved through a little bit, yeah, I will say this is such a smooth powertrain too. And you know, I will give Ford a lot of credit. This is what I want to see automakers doing with their ICE engines, is improving them, right? I think, oh, okay, I was like, why is there static? It's a radio. I think that this is like one of the best things that an automaker has done with an ICE engine in the recent years. Because what they've done is they've taken an engine that they've made reliable over the years, right? This engine Ford's had for some time, made more reliable over the years. And now that they've kind of got that all sorted out, they've now focused on making it more efficient. So instead of trying to release a new engine or trying to push hybrid or EV, and don't get me wrong, I love hybrids, not a fan of EVs. They've just made their regular ICE engine better. And I mean, again, this is still, even if you're like hardcore environmentalists, like it's got to be a certain way, this is still going to be better for the environment because, well, it's a turbo 4-cylinder, right? So that just puts out less tailpipe emissions, and it's a more efficient turbo 4-cylinder. So that means that you're going to be getting better gas mileage using less dyno juice. So even the hardcore environmentalists that think that we need to be EV yesterday, I think you can appreciate this and support this. And I think other automakers should follow suit. Not everything needs to be a 4-cylinder, but just, again, there's a lot of improvement that can be made with ICE engines to make them more efficient. Gosh, I love that torque. It's so good. The suspension's comfortable, even though this is leaf sprung. Ford, out of any other automaker, I think probably does the best in terms of suspension comfort with solid axles and leaf springs. Jeep does a pretty good job with the Wrangler and the Gladiator, but I mean, you drive a Ford Super Duty, you drive the half ton, and you drive this Ranger, and it's like, man, it's still, you know, truck construction, still body on frame and all of that, and yet it drives very, very well, comfortably. It's impressive. So, let me know your thoughts on the Ford Ranger. I think I was down here. Yes. Let me know your thoughts on the... It took me a second. Let me know your thoughts on the Ford Ranger with the 2.3, but if you get a 25 plus, for those of you wondering, then you get the better fuel economy because they've slightly improved the powertrain. And I'm going to try to highlight, there's other manufacturers that are doing similar things, like basically slightly improving their cars for reliability and everything. A lot of it seems to be happening 25 plus. It's kind of like we got past that pandemic hump. So I'm going to try to highlight that more on the channel to let you guys know, like, hey, this car, even though it came out a few years ago, if you check out the newest version, it's got these updates that make it substantially better.